Well, according to the new gazetted lockdown regulations, it's now mandatory to wear a face mask. Also in the regulations was an immediate ban on the sale of alcohol, as well as a curfew between 9 in the evening to 4 in the morning. For more on this and all that can get you into trouble, let's speak to Justice and Correctional Services Minister Ronald Lamola. Very good morning to you. Will you put me in jail? Will you arrest me if I don't wear my mask?
Yes, good morning, and good morning to the viewers. And firstly, we want to state, as we stated yesterday in the press conference, that this decision was not arrived at lightly. As you are aware that from the beginning, we had just made it compulsory without criminalizing or imposing any fine to individuals. In the past 3 months, that's how the regulations were crafted. But upon assessment, the state felt that there is now a responsibility that we need to impose, and a duty that must be imposed on compliance officers, those that are responsible for buildings, responsible for taxi operations like a taxi driver or owner or operator, responsible for retail shops, and responsible for various places where people can congregate and be in numbers, to ensure that and take reasonable steps that whoever enters the taxi or the building or a retail shop must be wearing a mask, and that person, if is not, must be refused entrance, must not be able to come into that building. And if an individual is found inside the building or a taxi or a shop or anywhere without a mask, therefore the compliance officer will have to explain to the police why this person is not wearing a mask, and therefore steps could be taken from there.
And what sort of steps? I mean, can I be fined? Can I be arrested?
The first step is that that person, the compliance officer, will have to inform the police what reasonable steps he or she had taken to ensure that everyone who is entering his or her premises is wearing a mask. Depending on that explanation, the steps could be an arrest and the prosecution that will follow. And as I've stated earlier, the first choice and the first prize for us is that people must comply, is that people must ensure that when you leave your place, you are wearing a mask, and wherever that you go, you must be compliant. And we have been reluctant to take this route, and but there is clear defiance and non-compliance. But we are still a bit reluctant to impose this duty or obligation on individuals. The first step, as you can hear, that we are taking is on compliance officers in the various premises.
Okay, you were quoted as saying that these measures, excuse me, jumping in here, were rationally considered. What is the rational consideration in allowing taxis to operate at 100% capacity? And knowing who's calling the shots here when it comes to taxi versus government, how are you going to impose any fines if somebody is breaking the law here?
Yeah, I think in terms of the rationale and all that, the Minister of Transport will deal with it today in a press conference. But in terms of how we're going to impose a fine, you will know that the various taxis go through roadblocks, and the police do stop them to check from time to time. So it will happen during that kind of spot checks and the various roadblocks where they pass. So there is some kind of measures and processes that the police will outline tomorrow, how they are going to deal with all this non-compliance with regard to the mask.
Okay, why no home visits, but I can sit very closely next to somebody in a taxi and I can, say, meet my mum or my friend at a restaurant anyway?
Yeah, that one was taken on the basis that, for example, in your own house, it's difficult to regulate the various activities that you might be in, and it is not easy. But in the taxis, in the restaurants, as you have heard, there is a compliance officer, or at workplace, there's someone who is assigned to ensure that people can wear a mask.
And but we know it's not going to happen in the taxis, with respect.
No, it is going to happen. There is no reason why it cannot happen. It is going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, there will be an arrest. And this is a different issue that you are asking me. I still wanted to say across the globe, you will have seen the intergenerational infections that have happened between the young and the olds through the visits to families, because that is where the elders are going to be affected, because we have encouraged the country that the elders, those that are above 60 or with comorbidities, must stay at home. And if then there will be visits, the exposure and the risk is very high.
Okay, can I ask you what you meant when you said you don't need to actively consult with the public when making these sort of decisions? Why not?
From the onset of these regulations, you are aware that we have been consulting with the public. The point I was raising was that we are not promulgating an act or a bill of parliament. This is it's a regulation. And when you promulgate a regulation by law, you are not really required to consult extensively. But as a caring government and a transparent government, we still go out of our way to consult with the public. Hence, we have given an email where members of the public can still make their views known with regards to the regulations.
Like
I was stating that it was also... hello?
I said like the tobacco bag, but... Okay, all right, I got you there.
No, we have consulted even on that one. We have done our part, but we are saying that it is not a legal requirement.
All right, got you.
While we do it because we understand that the decisions that we make, they limit the rights of people, they limit various amenities of life. Hence, we always believe that people should still make comments on the regulations.
Ronald Lamola, good to talk to you. Thank you.